We'll wait till the tardy sits down. Good evening, and this is the regular board meeting of November 13th, 6 p.m. Let me get my notes here. So need to call to order.
Yes. Director Sailors. Director Gould. Director Stark.
Here.
Director Weber.
Here.
Director Costa. Director Costa is supposed to be joining us on Zoom. Let's give him a couple minutes. Director Clark.
Here.
Director Jones.
Here.
For the record, Directors Rice and Wood are absent this evening. And John Lavra is on Zoom as well, our general counsel this evening. No. Director Costa, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Very good. Correct. So Metro Cable announcement, if you would like to see this in the future, you can watch it on metro14live.saccounty.gov or youtube.com/metrocable14. It'll be on Monday, November 17th, 6 p.m. And Wednesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. as well. Now we're moving on to public opportunity to discuss. Oh, thank you. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Mr. Gould, Director Gould, can you please lead us? Thank you.
Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Gould. Now, moving on to public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda.
I do have one speaker card from Chase Michelati.
Good evening, board members, and thank you for your time. Cordova Recreation and Park District is very proud to celebrate this wonderful collaboration with Sac Metropolitan Fire District, a partnership built on our shared commitment to keeping this community safe, prepared, and cared for. This recent project, AED project, represents more than just new equipment. It's part of a larger initiative to make our parks safer and more resilient spaces for everyone who enjoys them. In partnership with Sac Metro Fire, we want to continue working to expand access to AEDs in select CRPD community parks. That means greater safety, greater preparedness, and ultimately greater peace of mind. Together, we're creating a network of care, one that ensures our parks remain not only places of recreation and connection, but also of safety and readiness. I'd like to extend another thank you to everyone who helped bring this project to life, including our CRPD team members, Sac Metro Fire Captain Jim Ellis and Community Relations Specialist April West, for working with us directly to get this project completed. I'd also like to once again thank Joe Ellis, who first approached CRPD about adding an AED cabinet to our park. We appreciate him sharing his story with us and for championing this life-saving equipment. When agencies like CRPD and Sac Metro Fire collaborate, we multiply our impact. And in this case, that impact could truly mean saving a life. We truly look forward to further collaboration moving forward, and thank you again for your partnership. Thank you.
Sir, just one moment. We have a question for you. Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Chase Michelati. I'm the Recreation Superintendent for Cordova Recreation and Park District. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight.
Are there any other questions before he leaves? Being none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to consent items. Does anybody have any questions about the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adopt.
Sorry.
Second. First and second.
Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Consent calendar is adopted.
Next item we have is presentation items, citizens responders report. This is with Captain Ellis, he's Community Relations Specialist April West, and Director of Government Affairs Kyle McDonald.
Hello, everybody. We do have a presentation coming. Everybody having a good evening so far? Excellent. All right, thank you very much. Director Weber, directors, Chief Fiorica, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here this evening. I'm joined by Captain Jim Ellis in our EMS division and also joined by April West in our Community Relations division. Today, we're here to talk about something that we're really excited about. This is something that I know a lot of you have heard about, but tonight we get to officially present it. This is the Citizens Responders Project. At Metro Fire, we're very good at looking inward to determine ways that we might be able to better serve our community. One of those ways was the community risk assessment, which showed us that sudden cardiac arrest is one of the top community risks. Now, we've seen a decline in total incidents, but we're also seeing a decrease in survivability, and that's what this project aims to squarely take on. Through education, public engagement, increased access to AEDs, this initiative will be advancing Metro Fire's mission of compassionate service, community outreach, community education, and proactive risk reduction. Now, this is a multi-divisional approach that I'm going to hand over to Captain Ellis now to talk about the problem that we're trying to tackle. So thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. As Kyle stated, I'm Jim Ellis, Captain in the EMS division. It's a pleasure to be here. Metro Fire has a problem, as he referenced before. We are a high-performing team of EMTs and paramedics with some of the best equipment, medicine, and apparatus available, an EMS agency constantly looking to improve, and we have a thorough quality improvement plan. Yet, we find ourselves with low cardiac survival rates. In fact, our CARES data has trended lower for 3 years straight. Where's the clicker? This one. It's my first time, so here we go. At barely over 6%, we are below our regional partners, comparable agencies in California, and the national average. As you can see, the 3-year trend down around 6%. The national average is around 8%. While it's not easy to pinpoint how we got here, the path out is much clearer. Our call volume has increased, creating system strain. We have first due reliability challenges and long response times in urban, suburban, and rural areas as factors. We also have scientific data from across the country spanning many different types of agencies, all pointing to the same thing. There is a significant need for a focused approach at the individual level. Community-wide mitigation measures aimed at people saving people. Citizens taking action to save lives, to help us save lives. Kyle referenced our comprehensive risk analysis in 2021. One of the recommendations was public use AEDs as a mitigation measure in 42% of the communities. The data confirms we need a system-wide response, prevention, and education strategy. Part of the solution are public access AEDs. As you can see here, the one at Sullivan Field is the one Chase Micheletti here in the audience and Patrick Larkin. And everybody from Cordova Recreation and Parks District, they just installed yesterday. It's the 4th of its kind in Metro Fire's jurisdiction. 2 of the other ones you see there, one of them you see Supervisor Desmond with retired Battalion Chief Steve Turner, who is a governor of one of the local Rotary clubs. They worked between Project Adam, and we have Rebecca McCormick here as well from Project Adam, which is a national nonprofit aimed at getting public access AEDs and reducing the risk of cardiac arrest in youth. They got 17 of these installed in Northern California. 2 of them are within our first in, one at Howe Park and one at Eastern Oaks Park. The fourth one you see there is at a survivor's residence. Joe Ellis in the audience here is an AED advocate now after cardiac arrest. He, instead of a little free library, put one in front of his yard. So while public access AEDs are a major piece, they're just a piece of the overall project. We have April West here to speak a little bit more on this.
Good evening. So the Citizens Responders Project provides CPR education and hands-only training so that our community is empowered to act when seconds count. It also expands access to life-saving AED access across high traffic and high-risk areas. We're also aiming to strengthen survivability rates by reducing time to defibrillation and improving bystander response. And so why it matters, what we learned nationally is that for every minute without CPR, survivability decreases by 10%, and bystander CPR alone increases survival by up to 30%. CPR and AED use together increase survival by 50%. So 70% of sudden cardiac arrest events occur at home nationally, meaning that members of the community must be equipped to act for their loved ones as well. So go to the next. So building the program, oh, am I on the right page here? Hang on, there we go. Community focused always. So Metro Fire responded to over 500 cardiac arrests last year, more than one per day. And immediate access to an AED can mean the difference between life and death. Education and empowerment turn bystanders into citizen rescuers, helping to save lives before our first responders arrive. We're prioritizing public and outdoor spaces, as 16% of those sudden cardiac events are happening there outdoors for AED placement, ensuring 24-hour availability, public access. So as we look into our own data, we're also finding that that number could actually be higher. So to help accomplish this, we've identified 13 elements that Captain Ellis is going to share more on.
Thanks, April. Yeah, this is a 13-element project based off the Heart Safe Community Initiative. The creation of both an internal and external team, the use of data to support decision-making strategies and tactics, continuing to equip our first responders with the highest quality training, protocols, equipment, and advanced life support capabilities, and a focused quality improvement approach. Many of these that we already do, but how we can expand off of those. We will also focus on our citizen responders through education, training, and practice planning for cardiac arrest events, as well as the development of meaningful health promotion strategies. And additionally, we will continue to work with our dispatch center for any potential improvements, while establishing a robust AED registry of every AED in the county, and continue to strategically place AEDs in 24-hour public access locations. Finally, we will continue to recognize the actions of not only our responders and the survivors, like we've mentioned, Joe, but also we have Brian Norwood here in attendance, who's an AHA board member as well, and one of our survivors. I'm not sure. But the heroic action of the rescuers with citizen responder videos, the first of which was filmed and will be sent to you following the board meeting, and the second will be filmed probably early next week. We had to reschedule because of the rain today. We were hoping to have a few of them in attendance, but I think that none of them were able to make it here tonight. The intent of the Citizens Responder Project is not just to increase survivability in the cardiac arrest setting, but the creation of a sustained community-wide culture of citizen responders. So although we just launched the Citizen Responder Project tonight, we've already had many successes just building up to it. As you can see in the pictures here, some of the events, in addition to the survivors you've met tonight, we now have the 24-hour AEDs in public locations with a fifth plan for in December at a local golf course. We have approximately 70 more locations we've identified to place these, working with our local partners like Cordova Recreation and Parks District and our Rotary clubs. Metro Fire has applied for a grant for 30 additional units that we're going to give away if we get awarded this next year. And we're working on raising money now, or looking for opportunities to raise money so we can acquire many more. Sac County EMS is partnering with us to identify all AEDs in the county, so we have a complete, robust registry created. 3 AEDs have already been added to Pulse Point, which is the AED registry we're going to use, and we expect hundreds more as soon as we get the county as soon as we work through the process of the county to figure out where they're at currently. Fire dispatch now utilizes Pulse Point as part of their workflow to determine if an AED is nearby. So in any unresponsive patient out on the street, they'll go through Pulse Point, see now there's an AED nearby, they can tell somebody to run across the street and grab it. 6 hands-only CPR events have been led by Metro Fire with over 500 people trained just in the last month and a half. 1 citizen responder video film with a second plan. We've had our first survivor banquet in May with a second plan. We're getting ready to start planning our first cardiac arrest summit next March. We've completed 27 EMS Excellence Awards this year, up from 8 last year. 19 employees were trained in high performance CPR at a resuscitation academy. Every district first responder, EMT, and paramedic completed advanced training in October for our annual EMS based off cardiac arrest and Lucas device improvements. And we've formed partnerships with organizations like Capital City CPR, AHA, Citizen CPR Foundation, Project Adam, the AED team, Take 10, Arrive Alive, Avive AEDs, our local Rotary clubs, school districts, and park districts like Cordova. While we are thrilled to report the successes such as these before officially kicking off tonight, we are excited to see where this project takes us in 2026 with the full momentum and support behind it. Thank you. Kyle.
Okay, so in terms of the next steps, this evening is a major moment. We have publicly announced it to you, our board. Next steps beyond this, we're going to make sure that our website is updated as well. We've got some resources that have been compiled, including information, statistics. We're going to be having calendar of events on there as well for when we have additional trainings throughout the community. We really want that website, that source, to be a one-stop shop for folks to understand not just what the program means and why it's important, but also see the successes of it. And we're going to ultimately fold in some tracking to show the numbers of individuals who have been trained, AEDs placed, a whole host of other things to be able to visualize that success. We'll continue to meet with stakeholders. That includes parks, school districts, community groups, to really grow awareness around this vital program and determine ways that we can grow it. As was mentioned, we've applied for a grant. We're going to continue looking for additional funding to be able to grow this. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we'll continue to keep you all not just aware, but involved and engaged as well. At the end of the day, this initiative fills a critical gap for emergency response. It enhances survivability, builds community capability, and upholds Metro Fire's mission of protecting life through compassion, education, and preparedness. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions?
I have a comment. Yeah. Let there be light.
Director Jones.
Thank you, Director Weber. Thank you, staff, Kyle, April, and Cap Mellis for this program. It's a fantastic expanding our coverage on the health and welfare of folks in our community. And I'd like to give a shout out to Parks Director Patrick Larkin and his senior staff for once again taking the lead in terms of taking the lead to help our community and enhance all the safety measures that we can do. So thank you all very much. Sir?
I think in a dozen or 25 years and know that this really is probably one of the most significant launches we've ever had as an organization. To get another 800,000 volunteers who we could even put a little Metro something on them so they could brag about being part of our team is just phenomenal. I know the thousands of hours that go into this. I did something similar back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, but I know that it takes a tremendous amount of time. And I'm just really grateful that we're doing this now because it is a gap before our first responders, the highly trained best in the country. And I'll just put a challenge out there. You know, Seattle's walked around for 50 years thinking they're all bad and they're the best. We're right behind them and we're going to go past them pretty quickly, right? Because I think with the team and the leadership that you guys all show, we're going to quickly get in there. And I'm just super excited about seeing what you've already done at this stage is pretty phenomenal. Another thing is, Captain Ellis, you mentioned a bunch of people in the audience that are here that are either cardiac arrest survivors or have had some significant touch to them. And I know you kind of pointed randomly out in the audience, but I'd wonder if we could have those that are experts or those that have been touched by this initiative stand so that we can publicly thank you. Okay, excellent. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. And I know that Captain Ellis has shared with me some of the stories and they're phenomenal. One question and I'll be done. With technology as it is today, I'm wondering if we could communicate with cardiac patients in our communities and totally volunteer, so there's no HIPAA, FERPA, CHIRPA violations. But having them, you know, purposefully fill out a form that says, I live in this place and I just got out of the hospital from AFib. You know, and then all it does is it looks at their location and it finds the closest AED and it says, you're, like you said, you run across the street, that yellow box that sits there, that's a really good thing right now. Those kinds of technologies. Are you saying that when I call from my cell phone, it geolocates where the call's coming in and it will quickly give me, like, just go down the end of the street and there's an AED?
So if you use the PulsePoint app itself, it'll automatically locate where you're at just from the navigation. And then there's a little yellow AED box that'll populate when you zoom in close enough. So you can see if one's close by. Like if you have AED on your phone now, you can look and see there's one in the lobby at Metro Fire headquarters. And so you just zoom out to see how far one is away. When you call 911, our dispatchers are using that same pulse point, and they're now telling the caller who probably doesn't have that on their phone or they're not thinking about it, hey, there's an AED a couple 100 feet from you, you know, in the next building over. So we've had instances recently where people actually, they knew there was an AED across the street and they were doing CPR on a patient and they sent somebody to go get the AED across the street on their own. And that was across a major boulevard and brought it back and helped save that life. So these are what we're trying to get through dispatch. So it won't automatically tell you that the AED is there because you called 911, but it's part of the workflow from our dispatchers informing that caller.
So if you come up on the Metro website, before you can get any information, you've got to download the app.
No,
I'm
separate.
saying that should be what we, right? So everybody gets the app, right? Or you go to, Walmart or wherever.
That's what we want. Everybody
You
gets
know,
the app.
if we can get more and more people to get the app, and you can't go anywhere without this stupid thing following you around, right? And so I'm just wondering if there's ways, because that app is really going to trigger a lot more responses like you've just described.
Not only can you get the app and download it, you can get notified if there's a public unresponsive patient happening within a quarter mile of you. So then as a citizen, you can respond and actually take action. Now, those are only going to be the ones in public locations, but that's part of the overall plan we're working on next year is how do we build this out for a citizen rescue,
This is going
citizen
to
responder
be
team.
awesome. And we're still okay with Lucas devices despite the current literature.
Correct. It's brand new literature. We're still looking into it, but we are working on
Love 'em.
efficiencies.
Yeah, just talk to paramedics, not scientists.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain. This is fantastic. I don't think we'll really understand just how huge this is for a while until your plan rolls out a while, because this makes a big difference. And I look forward to the night where we see a bunch of people coming in here to get, Citizens Rescue Awards because they've saved a life. I will tell you personally, saving a life is the most awesome thing any other human could do. There is nothing that comes close at all. So I encourage 800,000 people in the next 10 minutes, sign up on the app, make it happen. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Welcome, Director Stark.
Yeah, I think this is a great program. I'm really excited about it. I would like to see us get creative in raising funds to get additional AEDs. For example, my boys are in Boy Scout Troop 144, and one of the Eagle Scout projects, they got 2 AEDs in Christ the King Lutheran Church, and then did training with a bunch of the folks. There are a lot of seniors there, so it was a pretty great thing. I'd like to see us to try to reach out and do some more of those. And I was looking at you, Kyle, and thinking that since we're active members of the Chamber of Commerce, I think that'd be a really great thing to reach out to them, and I'd be happy to help you do that, to see if we can get corporate sponsors.
Short answer, yes, absolutely to all that. One of the next steps, engaging additional stakeholders. We've got a great amount of community groups here in our region that we know would be very supportive of this sort of project. And there's certainly the financial aspect, but there's other ways that folks can support as well. And that's, hosting trainings at their facilities. That's ensuring that they're downloading the app. Absolutely right. There's a whole host of ways that people can get involved, but certainly the financial aspect is a big one.
Phenomenal. Do we have any other questions? So Captain Ellis, I happened to be at the event yesterday, fantastic event, but just so you can educate the board and any of the public that might be watching right now, how does the public access the AEDs that are for their use?
Yeah, so these ones that we showed you in the picture, like the one yesterday, they're directly connected to the 911 system. They have a access code that's locked up. And so when you call 911, wherever you're at, and let's say Hagen Community Park, the dispatcher now, it's in the CAD system. So the dispatcher is going to let them know, hey, okay, you're doing CPR, we'll help you. Send somebody over. There's an AED and a yellow box at Sullivan Field right there. And take the phone with you. When you get there, we'll give you the access code to unlock it. They open it up. Not only is there an AED in there, but we're going to provide Narcan. We can put stop the bleed kits, other things like that. So a lot of life-saving stuff can fit inside that. It's a removable AED. That's just the enclosure that houses it.
Small little trophy.
Yeah, and that AED is already in Pulse Point. It's already in CAD. It's already on tablet command and live, ready for a response.
Thank you all. Great presentation.
Great. Thank you, guys. Awesome.
John, have a question? You pop up on our screen. Okay. All right, moving on to action items. Adopt resolution, deferred compensation plan committee chair, a retired captain and my friend, Jim Newcomer. Everybody's friend.
Good evening. Haven't been before you guys for quite a while. And for the couple of you that don't know me, I retired from Sac Metro Fire in 2006. I've been on the Deferred Comp Committee since Metro Fire was formed and before that. What we have is a somewhat vague resolution that we operate under at the pleasure of the board to manage our Deferred Comp Committee so that you aren't burdened with it. We've been doing that for 25 years now. Our consultant suggested that we revisit that and get more specific. And we got a lot more specific. So what you have before you is a resolution that's going to affirm the oversight responsibility that you're going to delegate or have delegated to the committee. I want to mention that there is no financial impact beyond what we've seen for the last 25 years, and that would simply be incidental expenses outside of participation by the members of the board. Travel expenses are covered by the plan itself. We go to an annual conference to try to help educate ourselves, and that's proved very fruitful. a little bit about where we are today. At the end of last quarter, we were at $174 million employee contributions into our deferred comp plan. We have 1,114 participants, which means people like me that are retired that have a balance, as well as your current employees that are participating. The average balance of all of our members is about $173,000. Pretty good balance. And our participation rate is about 80%, which is industry-wide. That's a good percentage, but as a committee, we're a little frustrated that it's not higher. We have a consultant that sits on one shoulder, and we have a third-party administrator that sits on the other shoulder. So the consultant's looking out for our welfare and just confirming that everything our third-party administrator does is above board and what we want to see. Our third-party administrator has been with us for close to 20 years, and that's nationwide. We follow the district's procurement policy. We go out to bid every 5 years unless we exercise our 2 one-year extensions for that contract. We also have the same type of contract with our consultant. Those contracts are, the legwork is all done by the committee. They will come back to you as the board for the final approval, signature, whatever. As I said, we had kind of a vague policy from 2001 that started us off. Part of the agreement was that the day-to-day activity of this program, deferred compensation, would not involve your time. And to my knowledge, other than bringing forward new members for approval and appointment by the board, we've held to that. So, as I said early on in this, we don't anticipate any changes. The language is far more specific, and the document is a little bit longer than the old one. That's about all I have for you guys. I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Do we have any questions?
I have a question.
Director Gould.
It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
You look wonderful too. In this recommendation, has our attorney taken a look at it, Jim?
I don't know.
Because I would wonder, given the significant editing and adding that you've suggested this evening, I'm wondering if before we take action tonight, we ought to at least have our attorney take a look at it so that we don't cause our own grief. If it hasn't already been, I would just move that we table this tonight only to have it reviewed by our counsel and then bring it back for approval. Because I didn't see anything in the literature, the front matter, anything like we oftentimes when we take actions, we know that these folks have looked at it, this committee's looked at it, those kind of things. So the board isn't just trying to make a decision without a second set of eyes. I know I have a fairly good working idea of how this committee works within the department or the, Metro Fire, but I just wonder if we even have an idea given the magnitude of changes this document provides.
General Counsel Lawver is on Zoom this evening.
Yeah, Director Gould, I have not reviewed this with a fine tooth comb because I didn't know whether I was going to be here tonight or not. So the answer to your question is no, it has not been reviewed in the way that you're speaking of in terms of this document.
Okay.
But I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, because I see staff recommends and I see that kind of stuff. And if staff's recommending to the full board, I think it's our obligation. And I fully support this. I think you know that after a couple decades of supporting this idea, I think it's one of the greatest things we've done. But I would feel more comfortable moving it forward after our staff has a chance to look at it, and he's already said he hasn't. So if we could do that, I'd just be, and I'm not suggesting you got to come back. You're probably going to be in Bali or some awesome thing like that. But if we could just bring it back to this board with that oversight and that recommendation, I think that, yeah. So I'm making the motion that we table this tonight until that's done.
Second.
If I get a second, Mr. Chair. Any comments?
Yeah, do we need to take Director Jones?
Yeah, with the discussion, then we can vote on the motion or either way, but I'll support the motion and as well as give a kudo to Mr. Newcomer for all this work for 25 years.
Yeah.
Prepared to support it. And I don't see anything in conflict with voting on this in our December meeting.
Well, well, that's a great call, okay? I would just make that part of my motion.
And
Be table to revisit for vote on our meeting in December.
And would you want that to come back after General Counsel Lavra reviews as a consent item, or do you want it to be an action item again?
oh, that's a good point.
I'm comfortable with consent after staff recommends, because, I mean, this is our own people, and
Yes.
you just heard, the representative talk to you about the success.
Mhm.
I mean, it's massive, and it's so good for our people long-term that I have zero issues with putting it under consent once our attorney has a scan of it.
Mr. Chair, if the second of the motion approves, I certainly that has my consensus.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Call the roll, please.
Director Sailors,
Aye.
Director Gould,
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. So this item will come back at our December 11th meeting, assuming that our General Counsel Lavra has had a chance to review it before then, and then it will come back as a consent item for your adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
One final comment is, other than the amount of language that I've put before you, it's the same thing we've been doing for 25 years.
Yeah, and that's why we have faith for consent.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's. All right, next item is purchase approval for 4 BME Type 3 engines. Hefe. Shay Purcell.
Directors, Hefe Bob Weber, Chief Farika. So four purchase approvals tonight. The first one is for 4 Type 3 engines. This is the last 4 of the 8 that are approved in the CIP. We broke them apart because we were able to get our southern sister districts rejected purchase, which cut a year off the delivery times and cut the price down a little bit. So this will mirror the units we already have on order, both the 4 that we ordered last year, the 4 that we ordered already this year. This will be the last set of 4. They'll also be built by BME to the same spec. These will be delivered in Q4 of 2029. The ones we ordered last year will be delivered in Q1 2028, and the first set we ordered this year from CSD will be delivered in Q2 2027. So even though it sounds like a lot, they're actually coming a year apart, more or less. All of them, and staff recommends that the board approve the purchase of these 4 Type 3 engines from Boise Mobile Equipment via Golden State Fire.
We have any questions for Shay?
Make a motion that we adopt.
Second.
Third, 4. We have a first and a second.
Director Sailors,
Aye.
Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Shay's up again for a purchase of 7 BME Type 5 engines.
A lot of Roman numerals here. These are actually Type 6s that we're calling 5s, which are slightly bigger than the 4s that we have on the ground, which are supposed to be bigger than the 5s. Confused yet? This is going to be for 7 Type 5 engines, also built by Boise Mobile Equipment. These are the same type vehicles that we have in service now and will mirror the spec that we have. We have several generations of these actually already in service. This also is a 3-year purchase move. So we're going to get these in 2 groups. First 4 will arrive in Q1 2027, and the second group of 3 will arrive in Q4 of 2027. So about beginning and the end of the year. So it'll be a little bit broken apart, but they are 3 years worth of purchases. So staff recommends that the board approve the purchase of 7 Type 5 BME engines.
Make a recommendation, we approve.
Second.
First and a second, please call the roll.
Yes, Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, Shay. Purchase approval for 25 North Star ambulances.
I apologize. It's a bit of a bag of cats in my brain sometimes. This one is for 25 Braun Northwest or North Star ambulances. This purchase also encompasses 3 years of purchases as outlined in the capital improvement plan. Due to the quantity of units that we're ordering at one time, staff was able to negotiate a 5,000 per unit discount, so 125 grand off on this one, and consistent delivery timeframes, with 9 units arriving in Q1 2027, followed by 8 in Q1 2028, and the last 8 in Q1 2029. Staff recommends the board approves this purchase for 25 Braun North Star ambulances, please.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase of 25 North Star ambulances.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Call the roll, please.
Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Last one up for Mr. Purcell is purchase approval for one 3,000 gallon water tanker or tender, excuse me.
One more time. So this final purchase approval request is for a 3,000 gallon water tender built by Fouts Fire. This particular unit will come from their stock unit allocation with a couple of modifications, shortening the delivery to just 200 days, which is what everything used to come in before the 48 months. We added a deck gun, improved the departure angle, put a Telma retarder on it, an aluminum upper plate on the top to protect it a little better. And staff recommends that the board approve the purchase of this 3,000 gallon water tender from Fouts Fire.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adopt this newly outfitted 3,000 gallon water tender.
A second.
We have a first and a second. Can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Director Sailors.
Aye.
Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber.
Aye.
Director Costa.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you, Shay.
Good job, Shay.
And moving on to reports, President's report. He doesn't have any. Next, we have the fire chief's report.
Good evening, thank you. I'll be providing the fire chief's report this evening as Chief House is currently attending the CalJack conference. First off, please join me in welcoming Robert Baumgartner, hired for the position of Fleet Shop Assistant, effective November 3rd. Unfortunately, he was unable to be here tonight. Our second new hire is Jason Harcourt, hired for the position of Facilities Technician, effective October 27th, 2025. Jason, can you come on up to the podium and introduce yourself, please?
My
first time in this room, so
You'll be fine.
I've been here for 3 weeks. So first of all, I just want to say I appreciate you guys having me tonight and letting me introduce myself. My name is Jason Harcourt. I'm the new facilities technician, and so far my 3 weeks here has been over. Everybody's been so nice and kind, and I'm really excited about working here. I've been in the trades and building trades for over 20 years. My specialty is in HVAC, although I'm pretty well-rounded in everything. My last 9 years, I came from a Galta Joint Union Elementary School District, where I was a maintenance technician. So it's very similar job to what I'm kind of learning. It seems like it's pretty similar. The things that I'm going to be repairing and fixing, but now I'm in the fire stations, so it's probably a little cooler. But so I bring quite a bit of experience, and I'm pretty excited. But my young family, my 2 kids, my daughter Cody and son Boyd, they're excited. They're like, "Dad, you're working at a fire station." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a firefighter, but it's pretty exciting because I actually grew up in the fire community. My dad was a retired fire captain from Galt Fire District. Worked there for almost 30 years. My mom was actually an administrative assistant. So I grew up in the firehouse, jumping off of fire trucks, and spent all my summers going to musters and watching them do hose cart races and bucket brigades. And, it was pretty exciting. So it feels pretty special to me. It's kind of full circle right? Yeah, I'm not a firefighter or anything like that, right? But I feel like I could be a good big asset and big part of the community here and help keep the stations rolling, you know. So, but other than that, a little bit about myself. I'm like an outdoorsman. I used to spend all my time hunting and fishing and things like that. And now I just seem to find myself coaching softball and baseball and football for some reason. I don't know why, but I have a good time doing it. You know, I love my kids. So, but other than that, I appreciate you guys opening this new position. I know that it came with like a lot of the Measure O things, and you know, hopefully it doesn't just stick with the Measure O things, you know. Right, like it's scary. I left a pretty good job over there at Galt Elementary, but I know this is where I'm supposed to be right now, and I'm super excited about it. But I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you, Jason. Can you hold up just a minute? We have
Yeah.
any questions for Jason? Director Savers.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anything else? Download the app.
I have it already. I got it. Pulse Point.
Jason, it doesn't matter whether you're a firefighter or not. You're part of the family now, and welcome aboard.
I appreciate it.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Nice meeting you guys.
All right, continuing on. As we talk about collaboration with outside stakeholders, I want to mention that on November 4th, Metro Fire hosted leadership from Alameda County Fire, Oakland Fire, Fremont Fire, Alameda County EMS, and labor representatives who requested to learn about our integrated ambulance response and transport model and system performance. The visit reflects positively on Metro Fire's service delivery model and the collaborative work occurring across Sacramento County's EMS system. It was a very positive meeting. Not to throw things off too much, since I'm already up here and already talking, I'm going to throw in a little bit of what I would normally be called my admin report, but we're going to just include it with the fire chief's report tonight. So I just wanted to kind of put the focus on human resources for a minute. As one of the divisions that I have oversight of, and I work with probably the most out of any of the divisions that I have oversight of. Just want to bring your attention to some of the stuff that they've done so far this year and that they actually do regularly. Obviously, this last year, they've hosted 4 promotional exams, battalion chief, captain, deputy fire marshal, and supervising inspector. They oversaw 10 external recruitments to fill positions within the department. So far, they've handled 7 retirements and have completed 22 policies that were either edited or written this year. In addition, one of the areas that obviously the board has asked for improvement on and the HR team has worked very hard on is our workers' compensation portion. And so far this year, there have been 280 work comp claims processed. One of the things that the Wellness, Health, and Safety Division has done is partnering with the work comp folks and working to educate our members. So far, over 20 sessions of a joint peer support and workers' compensation training has been presented to the line. The remainder of the crews will receive the training by the first week of December. They have revised the claim reporting packet, and no longer do our members have to fill out paper forms when they sustain a work comp injury. And in addition, we have new and expanded medical partnerships that have been formed, leading to a faster medical service delivery to members. You've heard them talk about MyMP and MAC physical therapy, which is now offered twice a week at Station 21. And we're working actively to find more providers to provide assistance with mental health and behavioral health treatment. And that's the end of my report.
We have any questions?
I just wanted to thank everybody from EMS and administration for meeting with the Alameda County firefighters and Oakland firefighters. That's where I'm from. I went up and was able to work with them to try to get the Board of Supervisors to give the fire service an opportunity to run fire-based EMS in Alameda County, which we have not. We've always had private providers. I think that what we're doing here in Sac Metro is state of the art. When I went and spoke before the board, they asked me to come up, and I said, I don't represent the district here. I said, I represent myself, but I did tell them about all the great things that are going on here. And I invited them up to come up and see state of the art. And they were really impressed with the presentation. And I'm really proud of what you guys have done. And you didn't make a liar out of me. So I really appreciate it.
And one quick note on that, I do want to mention that from our side of the house as well with that meeting, it was a joint labor management collaboration, as we did have Captain Scholar from 522 there as well.
Very good. Any other questions for the chief? Okay. Next, we have operations report, Chief Welborn.
Good evening, Board of Directors. Normally I'd be up here talking about community relations and be bearing gifts, but I'm in a new role now, so it's good to see you all again. And Chief Eureka, Marty, and once again, Arthur. I wanted to touch on three things: the operations side, some training components, and focus on our members. We just heard from Jason, or one of our new employees, and I want to start with that because that kind of seeing him tonight triggered something in me where I think I need to share that with you guys. We had a fire in Rio Linda, and I'll touch on it later in my presentation, but the reserve rig actually got stuck. They parked into some the ground that eventually became saturated and stuck. We had to call out a tow company. They pulled them out and left about 30-foot tracks, major tracks. I talked the next day. I went to the homeowner and said, hey, want to take care of you? They said, don't worry about it. We're good. We're just thankful nobody got hurt or worse. And I said, no, we're going to take care of it. I called Joe in facilities, and within 2 hours, there was a crew out there, and that road was completely leveled. Major accomplishment. Those folks, they brought a Bobcat. They went to the nines. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of kudos to our facilities team that continues day in, day out to take care of not only us, but now also taking care of our community. So it's admirable. At operations side, we had 3 fires since our last Board of Directors meetings, and I think they're worth noting. At 2:36 a.m. on November 3rd, Battalion 14 crews arrived to a vacant Epoch Casino, or the old Sheepherders Inn on Folsom Boulevard, for a well-established fire. And the fire did go 2 alarms. It was all hands. Quickly, and due to the size of the building, the intensity of the fire, and the fortification of the doors that were on there because it was unoccupied, it was a lot of work. The IC eventually did go defensive. On the evening of November 5th, Battalion 7 crews arrived to another vacant office building at the corner of Watt and Marconi with a well-seated fire, and that fire also went defensive from the start and was contained to 1 alarm. And then finally, on November 6th, just before 2:00 p.m., the fire we talked about, B5 crews responded to a house fire in Rio Linda with reports of possibly a victim inside. Crews initially went offensive to do the right thing and locate the person, but it was quickly reported that all those folks were out, and the fire transitioned quickly to defensive thereafter. As the fire intensity increased, structural members showed signs of compromise, and conditions did deteriorate. That fire was also held to 1 alarm, but all 3 incidences had some commonalities. We went defensive on those 3 buildings. There were some positives: great size up, awareness of conditions and risk potential, appropriate command presence and delegation, and discipline on part of the crews to understand and think bigger as those conditions deteriorated. The overall outcomes, though, were also the same, and they were exactly what we wanted. Everybody was out, nobody got hurt. The fire was contained to the unit or the building of origin, and we protected the exposures. We also contained the environmental threat and reduced the economic impact to that community and those owners. Going defensive on a building is not something that we take lightly. It's not ingrained to our culture. We go in almost all the time, but our ICs
in this moment understood that we have a risk versus gain. And a lot of times on these big vacant buildings, the risk is their own people. One of my previous training mentors once said, risk has a name, risk has a family. And it's important for our ICs to remember that. And they did that night, on all of those nights. The decision-making process is important. So well done to our crews. And that's really what I wanted to hone in on that. It's not something we do all the time, but we just so happen to have 3 in 1 week, which is different. Moving on, training. Dozens of our boat operators just underwent IRB training, which is inflatable raft boats. And we're heading into the winter seasons where we're seeing atmospheric rains like we are right now. We could potentially have flooding conditions like we did several years ago, and our folks are now trained. So it's important. And then moving on, we also have concurrently the Sacramento Fire high-rise drill. So our folks are out there right now, and we'll be out there through the end of the month. And units are down there from Sacramento County, Yolo County, parts of even upwards of the Bay Area or downwards of the Bay Area to go there and better themselves. San Joaquin. So we have a whole bunch of fire agencies that are out there working together, collaborating. And we just want to give some kudos to Sacramento Fire for inviting us out there so that we can get better. Finally, our members, we had 2 MMP paramedic upgrades this week. Paramedic Natasha Gurzu from Medic 641 and Paramedic Kylie Hammond, Medic 6105. And then effective on November 16th, all of the recruits that just graduated the MMP class 25-2 will count as full staffing, which is great. So outside of that, that's pretty much a rain down of what's happened in the last 2 weeks. Any questions?
Do we have any questions for Chief?
I have a comment. When I was a fire captain, I got to come down and take the high-rise training, and I think that's a really great program. I'm glad to see that continues. I learned a tremendous amount taking that class, and it's not readily available in Northern California. So you bring in locals or departments from all over, and it teaches a lot, and it's important to share. Thank you.
It is, and it's one of those low frequency, high risk operations too. And so we're having folks all the way from firefighters all the way up to the IC be able to have a part in that, taking divisions and those things where they normally wouldn't, getting them that experiences, which is valuable not only in that setting, but also when they bring it back here to our buildings here. And it's very likely that we could end up on a high-rise fire. We have hospitals and other buildings either in our burst in or adjacent to where we can see ourselves being a part of that. So.
Any other questions? No. Chief, either yourself or somebody in the room, can you enlighten us on the academy that's starting Monday?
I don't know how many recruits we have starting. Maybe Chief Eureka might be able to elaborate more on that.
Yes, we have 20 recruits, firefighter paramedics that will be starting the academy on Monday.
And is that a suppression or an MMP?
It is a suppression academy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Next, we have administrative report. Chief Rico already gave that. Next would be support and emergency medical services report. That is no report. Chief Mitchell's not here. Do we have 522 in the room? And 522 is also at the conference. Committee and delegate reports start with the executive committee. President Wood is not here, so therefore will be no report. Communications and JPA, no report. Finance and audit committee, Director Jones.
Yes, we have a report. Thank you, Director Weber. Our report is that our next meeting is January 22nd at 5. Oh, I get to say it. January 22nd, 2026 in these chambers. Everyone's welcome to come.
Very good. Next, we have a policy committee, Director Sailors.
The policy committee met this evening at 5:30. We went over the, oh my goodness, what was it called? The
Retaliation policy.
retaliation policy, which will come to the full board soon. Our next meeting is December 11th at 5:30 here in these chambers. Thank you.
Very good. Next, we have board members' questions and comments. We'll start with John Costa, so I don't forget him. Director Costa.
Thank you, sir. I have no comments.
Very good. Director Jones.
Yes, thank you. 2 items. One is that Director Gould and I attended and participated with the 2x2 with the city of Folsom. And we opened the dialogue, and it was a very good first step. The second item, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. We got the Thanksgiving season, and I am very thankful that this month I'm able to celebrate a 20-year anniversary. I'm grateful that in 2005, I was able to donate a kidney to a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army, a Gulf War veteran, a helicopter pilot, and one of my kids' sisters. So we're both doing very well today. I'd like to say that the fire service rendered mutual aid to the United States Army. That's what I say. If anyone is interested in talking or discussing more about organ donation, I'm available anytime. Just contact me. That's fine. Then, hey, happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thank you, Director. Director Sailors. Director Clark.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Director Gould. Oh, no, you're last. Sorry. Director Stark.
Happy Thanksgiving, Giver.
Nobody likes to follow you. All right, Director Gould, you're up.
All right, tonight in consent, we purchased what I can only imagine is dinosaur remains in firefighting foam. If someone in the room can tell me what that all is, none of the words make sense. And they sound almost Yugoslavian. So please come and see me before we go into closed session. The other thing is kudos to all of you that participate and will continue to participate in the Citizens Responders Project. Like I said earlier, I think we're going to look back 10 years from now and just see our cardiac care numbers and survival rates skyrocket. That is just monumental. So kudos to all of you that are participating in that. And then finally tonight, we purchased 37 pieces of apparatus. Can you imagine how unique that is? If you think about the fire service around the country, that's pretty unbelievable. And Sean and your team, I just can't imagine the workload that you folks are currently under and will be under as those 37 pieces of apparatus show up. And I just want to conclude with giving an absolute shout out to our citizens. If we contemplate this, we would never be in this position where we could do those kinds of things without the citizens of this region reaching into their hard-earned money and saying, I trust the men and women at Metro Fire. I'm going to give them some of my hard-earned money. So everyone that works here is to be congratulated for the incredible job that we do and always looking, in my mind, for ways we can improve, as evidenced by the Citizens Project that was presented tonight. So kudos to all of you. And as I normally say as well, this week, as you sit with your family and potentially eat beyond what is realistic, I'd really like you to think about those in our community who do not have a place to call home or to eat. And just in whatever way you can, reach out to someone and tell them you love them, and then tell them that you got something for them to eat. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. And that's why it's a tough act to follow. And you go last as long as I'm sitting in this chair. Unfortunately, I do have to follow that. So I have suspended the ad hoc committee as of this evening. If something important comes up in the future, we can convene and approach that subject. But a major, major announcement was made today in ad hoc involving mental health and behavioral health. I was informed that we now have 8 clinicians that we can send our folks to. The work comp liaison officer can take a peek at it. And if the individual needs to be raised to the next level, we have 8 individuals that we can send them to. We have one doc that has either QME experiences and or is a QME that can now write off and sign off on the bigger ticket items so we can get them involved in the work comp system. So that is a major, major breakthrough. And again, I call it the team, but it's actually everybody else. It's not the chair. So I thank you very, very much for that. That was a great early Christmas present for myself, and certainly I would think for the board. That is a monumental achievement. So thank you all. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. We are going to be moving into closed session here. So with that, everyone have a great evening, and happy Thanksgiving. All right, we're going to resume the regular board meeting. Closed session report out by Council Lavra.
Yes, thank you, Director Weber. The board met in closed session for the three items listed on the closed session agenda. The first item for consideration was the workers' compensation claim for employee Michael Ryan Gifford. The board voted unanimously to approve a workers' compensation settlement and to give authority to its attorney and third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of that claim. Item number 2, conference with labor negotiator. The board met with the district's designated labor negotiator for all of the employee organizations and units identified in the closed session agenda. No reportable action was taken. Finally, the board met for public employee performance evaluation regarding the fire chief. No reportable action was taken. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, just as a reminder, we have a special board meeting, strategic planning retreat on Saturday, December 6th at 9 a.m. I assume it's here. And then our next regular board meeting is December 11th at 6 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.